Hey there, Dr. Yam is in the house, and we are in for another session of This Week in the Hive. So, welcome, everyone. This is Dr. Yam. Hope everyone is doing super duper. Let me get us started. La 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 la. Hey there, everyone. It's Dr. Yam. Hope everyone is finding themselves well. So, this week in the Hive, I want to answer a question about have you ever visited the land of lack? And if you have, what type of experience do you think you're having? And how is it that you can make a U turn? So, that is what we're going to be covering today in our Busy 9 to 5 Hive. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach, and I host a community of aspiring entrepreneurs in the Busy 9 to 5 Hive. And inside this space is where aspiring entrepreneurs, those who are busy working a full-time 9 to 5, who want to transition and transform from employee over to entrepreneur, and I help them along the way. So, part of being a coach is to help people find and identify where they're at and how is it that we can move you forward in doing the actual work and moving you into being an entrepreneur, whether it's a side gig, part time, and you can prove your concept and move you forward, or you just want to go in full head on into full time entrepreneurship. Whatever your desires are, we can make that happen for you inside of this space. And I help you do that as your coach. So today, I really wanted to spend some time with you around the idea of the land of lack, what I like to call it. So this week in our hive is what we're going to be speaking on throughout the next 4 or 5 days. You'll see me come online to do that. So please join me, ask your questions. And if you're watching this as a recording, then please, you can still post your questions down below if you're inside of our Facebook group. If you happen to be watching this on side of our YouTube channel, then you also can leave your comments in there as well. And you can also direct message me as well. And I'll have some contact information inside of the descriptions below, as well as at the end of this particular video. So, the land of lack. What is it, and how is it that you can avoid spending some time there? So, there are what I call 5 areas of that you may have what we call a scarcity mindset that can sneak in and hold you back from being able to launch that business idea that you have. So, what I wanted to do was kind of share with you what I have is those 5 areas that some of my clients have had an opportunity to visit, but also an opportunity to overcome. So, I wanted to kind of share that with you today. So, land of lack. So, let me just pull up my little notes so we don't miss anything. But living in lack is about a scarcity mindset. And what that means is that when you're in a scarcity mindset, it's going to have you believe in limitations. Time limits, it could be money limits, it could be even just limited on what you think you can accomplish. And it's like putting blinders on, so on everything good in the world and focusing only on the lack thereof. So, however, if you've never been conditioned to think any other way, then it can be a little bit tricky to kind of break through that scarcity mindset. Now, mind you, there are a lot of people out there who just simply think that life is unfair. And so they don't see that that mindset is what is the cause for that problem to even exist in their heads, and then tend to blame the forces outside of their control. And for this reason, have what we call a scarcity mindset, the lack of. And that can be holding you back long before you even realize that things are even happening or you are causing those things to happen. And so what I did was I kind of came up with what are these 5 main areas that people tend to have in this scarcity mindset that could be holding you back. Because inside the busy 9 to 5ers hive, the purpose of coming inside of this space is not to be passive, but to acknowledge who you are, what you want to do, where you are in this journey of becoming a solopreneur, a freelancer, or coach, a small business owner, whatever your desire is in being able to own and operate your own business, online, offline, brick and mortar, doesn't matter. and that we want to be able to meet you where you are and then be able to help you to move past obstacles, break through barriers, and be able to begin your journey in planning and launching your new business. Now, back to scarcity mindset. I've identified five. There could possibly be others, but hey, I like to keep it simple. So here are what I call the five spaces that might be causing you a bit of, let's say, aggravation. So, of the five, the first one has to do with what we call confidence. Now, when we think about confidence, we're saying that a scarcity mindset will have you believing that you're just not enough or never enough. You're not enough good enough to be thin enough to maybe wear a bikini, or you're not smart enough to have to go for a better job. You put off putting yourself in out there maybe, or even taking a risk because you think that you're too scared of what other people are going to say or what they might think of you. What if you look stupid? What if you fail? Growth and change are impossible with this type of mentality because you won't be allowing yourself to move past your fears in order to realize your fullest potential. And each one of you have potential. We all come into this world with a set of talents and a set of circumstances and conditions. But that doesn't mean just the way you come in has to be the way you have to live your life. You have the tools and the resources and people that can help you to shape and nurture and create a journey and take you on the path that you want to go on. But a mindset could be an obstacle to do that. And so confidence could be one of those obstacles. Does this one sound familiar to you? Now, another one that may be causing you a little bit of, let's say, scarcity could be around the area of money in your career. Because again, if you're a busy 9 to 5er, then you're working in some way in capacity of earning an income right now until you make the necessary steps to be in a full-time uh, business or a side gig and transition into full-time. But money and career could also be another one of those problems. So when we think about money and career, we're thinking about the scarcity that you're seeing in obstacles and not opportunities. And that also means that when it comes to your money and to your career. So you believe that you have to scratch and claw and hustle your way to the top to get yours. And so, putting a ceiling on how much money that you can have in your life because you just don't think you have much to go on, or you're thinking that, a decent amount of money has to be difficult to get. So that kind of a mindset will have you believing that everyone else is smarter or better or more qualified than you are. Not true. It's just hard for anyone living in a scarcity mindset to embrace the changes, to take the risk, to step forward outside of that comfort zone so that you can experience something new. And part of that also is part of being an entrepreneur is all about risk taking. And so that's a comfort zone you've got to be willing to step into. There's just a different zone in comfort, but you do want to make sure that one of the scarcity mindset components is in that area of your money and your career or the job. And remember, the career and the job that you have today doesn't have to be there forever. You don't have to be stuck in that one. It can just be a holding space for you. It could be a jump off point for you. It could be what you like, enjoy doing. And there are a lot of people who enjoy what they do, but want to do other things. And you have the ability to do more than one thing for your life, be it a hobby or an additional way of earning income. So do know that this too could be a scarcity mindset in the area of money and in the area of maybe your career. Now, that being said, what about relationships? That too could be in that land of lack when it comes to your business life. And so when we think about relationships, what we do know for sure is that when you live in scarcity, what you're saying is you're rooting your fear that your choices are limited and that just not enough love to go around. And so you start to settle. You may even obsess. You may even stick in a unhealthy, toxic relationship way longer than you have because, you know, you don't think there's anything else better out there. And then they may even choose to leave because they know it's a toxic and you didn't get the memo. There's also that. But you tend to place the blame on others and finding it hard to compromise. And compromise is a key component when it comes to relationships, business relationships, marital relationship, partner relationships, any type of relationship. There's got to be a give and a take in each one of them. And yeah, it can be a little hard. And if it's not something that you're used to, you've got to at least be having the will to be able to do such things in order for there to be a healthy enough relationship. So professional relationships can also be strained because you're kind of like overly competitive maybe in nature. That too can impact the working relationships that you have, and you have an inability to maybe share credit or give recognition. And if you're going to be the credit hoarder in your workspace, you're not inviting other people to have a trust in you that when they're working together and collaborating with you, that they can feel comfortable knowing that if someone were to say, how did things go, or how did this get done, that you can acknowledge other people's contributions to the work. So work relationships, those business relationships, are also part of that scarcity mindset. If you fear that you have these limitations to having good and healthy relationships, maybe even past because of some past bad ones, but know that there's an opportunity that you can move forward on that. Now, another one, let me bring my screen back up. Another one can be health and wellness. Now, this is a little bit tricky, and we all kind of fall this. I know I do. So just kind of hard every time you think you want to have I'm going to be healthy today, and then things don't necessarily run out that way. But health and wellness can be another scarcity mindset component that you may be falling into the trap of. So, if this is one that you say, "Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've been in that city of land of lack in that particular category," then I feel you. But here's the thing: for those of you who may not know what we're talking about, when we talk about scarcity mindset when it comes to your health and wellness, then you might be having what we call a scarcity mindset is in the control, is in having a big impact on your physical and your emotional well-being. So, health and wellness is both not just your body, but your mind. And so it's not only are you kind of like, there's stress, there's anxiety are part of your daily life, you making excuses for the excuse as to why maybe you're not able to exercise more or maintain a healthy eating habit, losing weight, gaining weight. Yeah, people need to gain weight, believe it or not. So don't hate. Everybody who's thin doesn't necessarily want to be as thin as they possibly are. So there's also that. So, but because you're seeing those kind of like limited resources, then you have this tendency to maybe even overindulge when it comes to your food choices. And you might have to remind yourself that everything that you would have to give up, rather than thinking about all the good things that you can gain from having a healthier lifestyle. So, again, it's a mindset. And so, again, the scarcity of it. And if you let that kind of creep in, that can be preventing you from getting into um, a mode of thinking about you starting your business. All of these components, they all have a connection to one another. You can't have a good relationship if you're not healthy. You can't have a good, solid career if you're not healthy, or you're not having a good relationship with money. So all of these things kind of come together. And then the last one, believe it or not, that I thought was a good category that you may not have even thought about has to do with productivity. And again, your energy has a factor in how you're able to allow um, positive things to kind of come into your life, and also how productive that you can possibly be. So, another space and an area in your life that scarcity could be, your scarcity mindset is in your area of productivity. So, in this particular case, what we're speaking of here, it has to do with goal setting really plays a big role in how productive you are. And simply because you know what it is that you want to work towards. If you're not goal setting and you're just kind of almost, I don't want to like almost like going through like in a zombie mode, it's like you don't know where you're going. You're just floating through life on a routine basis and you don't have goals, then you don't know where you're going and where you're heading. And so the problem is that when you live in that scarcity type of a mindset, then what you're doing is you lack that ability to have those clear goals. And then your future kind of outlook is going to be bleak because you don't have a vision for something better than just what's coming at you rather than you setting a goal for yourself, right? And so you don't feel like you're working towards something more than the paycheck or more than an occasional raise, like that 2% raise. What the heck is that about? Anyway, so excuses are your friend typically. And so um, you have these things running in your head like, oh, if I only had more time, if I only had more energy, if I had only had more money, then I could finally accomplish everything that I ever wanted in my life. Yeah, well, you have it. It's just the way how you're using it. So that level of productivity kind of snips in. So rather than seeing it as a mindset issue, again, we go back to the blame game, others and other circumstances, and then your ability getting things done. I'm a list maker, checker off or boxer thing. I'm always setting goals for myself, daily goals. If I just get these 3 things done, I'm a happy capper. If I get these 2 things done, I'm a happy happy. Does it also always work out? Not all the time, but I'd rather have and set a goal and maybe miss it by a mark or two than have nothing at all to go by. So as you can see, living in a scarcity mindset can wreak havoc on your life if you don't realize that there is a true problem for yourself. And so becoming aware is that first step in breaking through that particular limitation so that you can carry on with being successful in your future endeavors, that including that of starting your own business. So hopefully you saw those 5 things to be helpful. You see that the 5 areas of scarcity that can be sneaking into your life and you don't want them to be there, you just want them to visit and keep going. That's what you really want. So remember, there's either confidence, you got your money, you got relationships to deal with, you've got health and wellness, and your productivity. So think about those. If these are areas where you're just seeming, you don't have to have them all. It might just be the one. I hope not all. Gosh, I hope not. But if there's a little bit of each, start whacking them down one by one. What is it that you could do differently in getting and gaining your confidence and thinking about money differently and trying to have healthy relationships and trying to be having a healthy self-care for yourself or trying to figure out how it is that you can be more productive. All these things count. But the bottom line is you don't want to be living in the land of lack. You don't want to be there. And if you are there, make it temporary. And how is it that you can make the difference in your life by making some simple changes that can make them happen? So over the course of the coming couple of days, you'll see and hear more and how it is that I can help you to do that. And just think about things that can make your life a little bit better so that you can start to think better of yourself and start focusing on the things that you can help you to starting your own business. So I hope you found this to be as helpful as I thought it would be for you guys. Um, so without anything else, and let me just make sure I just have another thing. Okay. All right. So in case you want to connect with me, for those of you who don't know me, you can reach me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. I'm not on live all the time, but you can certainly find me and post there at any point in time that you'd like. I'd always like to be able to connect with my people. And of course, you can visit me over at keepitsimplecoach.info is my website. And there's also blogs and information and resources that will help you as well. And also, you can simply email me at dryam@keepitsimplecoach.info, and I will certainly reply to your emails. Until next time, this is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple Coach. Let's get busy. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.